Years ago, when I first started to change my eating habits, I came in contact with a very special person who started introducing me to a lot of very different ideas, very, very different ideas. And they were really introducing to me how to tune into my body to help pick my food. And that's where I really want to give you all a place to start. It's a little weird, and they would even talk to me about, wanting to do this sort of process in the grocery store but being embarrassed. And there are other methods that I developed over the years that are a little more subtle, but I'm going to give you this one because it's an easy place to start. So basically, this process falls under the category of what Wikipedia will definitely call a pseudoscience, and I will freely admit that, but I found it incredibly accurate and powerful in my life. And I don't use this tool all the time anymore, but I used to a lot. And I think it's going to be powerful for you. If you want to look up the thing, it's colloquially called muscle testing. I'm going to give you one form of it, or they call it applied kinesiology. There are some practitioners who swear by it, and if you find a good one, there's some amazing work they can do. But I'm not going to get too much into that. If you want to read about the arguments and read about the detractors, go on in line and do that. Here's the basic thing. I have a banana, a little bit of a green banana. And what you're going to do is you are going to try to get yourself into a centered place, and we're going to use a very simple test, just a test we sort of create to see what your body wants. So the basic rules of this test, and we're creating it, right? It could really be anything. But the basic rules of this test are going to be that if I want something, if my body really wants something, then my body will subtly move forward in space, right? As though it were going to grab something. And if my body doesn't want something, it will subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, move backwards in space, okay? Now, the key to this process is that you have a very clear mind. Because if you come into this process and you say, oh, I know I like bananas, that's going to affect what happens. Or if you say, I know I don't like green bananas, because this one's a little green, that's going to affect the process, right? So you have to get to this place where you sort of are able to suspend the intellectual judgment of your food and let your body tell you whether or not it really wants something. Most of your skill in this practice is going to be getting to that state, getting to the clarity where you can just be like, I want it or I don't, I'm just listening to my body. Okay, so the process is very simple, and it goes like this. I'll often do it standing. I think it works better standing, but because of shot constraints right here, I'm going to do it sitting. But literally all I do is take the item of food, or I can think about it, but I really like to hold it. It's really nice. And I'm just going to hold it to my chest, and I'm going to enter that neutral sort of silent space, and I'm just going to ask my body silently, does my body want this? And I'm feeling a bit of a wavering, but it's a very subtle forward, very subtle forward. It almost wants to stay neutral. It almost feels like it's going to sway back, but when I really get finding my posture, then there is a very subtle forward, which to me is an indicator that, yeah, my body kind of wants this. Some things when I do it, it'll be like, whoom. And when I'm standing, it'll like almost take me forward into a step or take me back. It's not normal, but sometimes that does happen with certain food products. So I know it sounds crazy and I know it sounds woo-woo, but you tried this course, and I want you to try this exercise. I guarantee you, if you really try it, you suspend your disbelief, it can be a very, 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 very powerful tool. So what does it look like? It looks like the first thing you probably do is try it at home, not at the store, because you don't want to be the weird person hugging their produce and rocking around the aisles, but I generally am that person, so maybe you'll be that person one day too. But take a few things, get like 5 or 6 things, and just notice the differences. That's where you can start. You got to feel your posture. So if you're standing, just feel your feet, stand up straight and relax, nothing more. If you're sitting, just feel your butt on the seat. Once again, sit up straight and relax. And all you're gonna do is let the mind, like blank palette, take the food. Imagine that you can actually feel like an energy or even a consciousness of the food, that you can connect to the food, and go down the line and do, banana, peanut butter, bread, whole wheat bread, mango, ice cream, whatever it is, right? Try like 5 or 6 and just notice the differences. So if you swing back, it's a sign that no, body, you do not want this. If you swing forward, it's a sign that yes, body, you want this. Try this exercise.